Dan, how you doing? You get along all right tonight? Oh, what part of the country are you in, Stan? I think we got me and my pin-headed memory. No, Diane, how you doing, darling? Well, hello, Miss Bree. How you doing, girl? Did you have a good time at the shindig? Oh, that's not good. Hello, Mr. Nate. Seems like I've seen you somewhere before today. Crowley, Texas. Okay. Phone going off steady, huh, Bree? Well, did you have a good time? That's the main thing. Well, we appreciate you coming in, even if you're just listening. Bree, I like your trailer. That's pretty neat. I hadn't seen one of those. It looked like everybody was having a good time. Yeah. Well, they caught you a couple times on camera. Oh, that's great. Stan, I'll tell you a little home remedy on that stuff. I never had been allergic to it. One day we got off and on a deer lease and it was really hot. I pulled my shirt off. I was running a chainsaw. Well, that tree was just getting covered up with poison oak, poison ivy. I didn't pay any attention to it. Well, about 3 days, I woke up with a welt from my belt line plumbing up here on my chest and up halfway around. And they did everything in the world. They gave me shots and all kind of spray, and they that cat's a sweetheart. But they couldn't do nothing with it. It was driving me crazy. And then I got to thinking, I was running a welding shop. and I didn't have any on my arms, and I never have got any on my arms, maybe just a little bit, but it'd be gone the next day. About 9 o'clock one night, I went back down to the shop. Had a job I had to do some pretty heavy welding on. Pull my shirt off and welded for about 2 hours. And the next day it was already clearing up. So if you can find you a tanning bed someplace and get you a little dose of that, it sure might help you. The ultraviolet light dries it up. That's what I was getting off at welding. Hello, Kenny. Appreciate you sharing it out. Hello, Miss Lillian. How you doing, girl? You might as well get used to it, Bree. You're not going to be able to hide from the camera forever. Have you always been that camera shy, even growing up? Hello, Lorraine. How you doing, girl? Hello, Miss Janice. I didn't see you. This damn chat jumped, and I'll have to go looking for you. Huh. But it never has bothered you before, huh? I know everybody picks on you about it. Hello, Dan. Oh, well, did everybody have a pretty good day? When you come up on my live, you seem like you were all right until we got to messing with you. Hello, Moon. At least it wasn't quite as hot today, was it, Lorraine? How long have you had that trailer, Bree? Hello, Roman. How you doing tonight? I got to go back and see that one Adrena was posting about everybody dancing. I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, it wasn't 105 or 108 anyway. Three-year trip. Yeah, I know it. Hello, Miss Loves. How you doing, darling? You still like it pretty well? The trailer, G? Breathe, not G. Can't even talk tonight. I was laughing at Paula and Nate too much to talk too much. Ah, that's good. Look like it ought to pull good. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Ariel. You've been staying out of trouble, love. Hey, rat pack. We appreciate the raid. Need all the help we can get. Hello, kicking. Yeah, you can't get by with much, Lillian. Too many people know you now. Well, we're not sure yet, kicking. We're just trying to get it wound up. Appreciate it, Miss Janice. Miss She Devil. How you doing, girl? What you been up to today, kicking? I know it's probably no good. It's getting to be quite a bunch of folks in here that know each other. We appreciate the raid, Kenny. All right, Ariel. You have a good night. Good bunch of folks up there, look like. Lillian, did you have a good trip? I tried to watch those Hawkins family videos, and every time I clicked on one of them, it was marked private, so I couldn't get in on it. Hello, girl.
Hey, Ron.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Lost my voice and kind of stuffy, but doing pretty good.
What
I
did you?
just thought I'd jump up here and tell you that I had an excellent time.
Oh, that's good. That's what it's all
Met,
about.
yep, met some very amazing people.
You know,
Mm,
it's amazing, really, if you think about it. Sitting here on YouTube talking to Janice in Australia and people all over the United States and Canada, and you really get to know people. After a
yeah,
while, you meet them and they're just like they are on YouTube. I mean,
yep.
and
Oh, yeah. Gina's just as lovable in person. And Bree, oh my God, she's such a sweetheart.
um,
I love you, Bree.
I kept trying
And
to.
I love Troy. Troy's amazing too. Nomadic Rat Pack.
I tried to watch y'all's videos when you were driving, and
Yeah,
every one of them was marked private. I couldn't get in on them.
it wouldn't upload.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was we were fighting trying to have signal and all that good stuff. So a lot of the videos and stuff that she took didn't end up getting saved. So for some reason her phone was all screwball.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
just wanted to hop up here and let you know that yes, we had a great time. We're home now and very tired.
I imagine you about ready for some sleep. I imagine, aren't
On a bed, yes. People were right. Air mattresses are not very good.
you? I hate them things.
I mean, the two of us sleeping on it was all right, but it got a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, mine always would leak down to about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd turn over and my left shoulder would hit the ground.
Yep, right? Sure did. But at least we had little heaters in our little tent, so we stayed pretty much warm.
Yeah, Red Pack. Somebody else said that Maddie had got that uh, Starlink. Well,
Hey,
hell, Moon.
hey, Ron.
Hello, Moon.
Hey, hello, Tilly.
Well, I'm gonna head down, Ron.
Okay, girl. Thank you for coming up.
Yep, thanks for having me. I'll be in the chat.
All right.
How's everybody doing today?
Oh, I think everybody's doing pretty good.
That's good. That's good. So,
I
how'd it
first,
go with your live the other day? The when you were testing?
I finally got that. I was on another computer. I was
Yeah.
on that laptop, and for some reason it wouldn't recognize as hotspot, but I could use the hotspot on my phone. What I finally got to do and
Mm.
got it worked out. So
You might have to log it in. Sometimes new devices to hot thing like for internet or anything. You have to it has to recognize it, and then you gotta once it recognizes it, then it should connect. I
it
would
was
think.
it was doing all that, Moon, but it would come up mid say secured, and that's it. It'd lock up. Wouldn't
Uh,
do any further than that. It's just one of them deals. I'll just use I've got unlimited on my phone too. So when I'm traveling, I'll just use my phone.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
Well,
hello, Dyson and William. How you doing?
yeah. Welcome, Williams. Well, it depends how old. Also, sometimes if the laptops are too old, they, you know, I know I have an iPad, and the other day I was trying to download an app for the banking, and it said you need to download a new system to the. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, because it's already too old of a system. So then some of the new apps don't work on them.
Well, at least this laptop that I got's about 4 years old, and I just
Uh,
use it when I'm traveling. That's all.
yeah, well, that's good.
And I've just got through buying a cab over, so I'm sort of rigging it up, and that's
Yeah,
going to be my running buggy from now on, and I'll leave my big trailer parked most of the time.
yeah, gonna
So
be like Becky and Roy and Becky.
yeah, sort of. Uh, Lillian, you still riding, huh? Oh goodness! I'll tell you what. How far did y'all have to drive? 5 hours or something like that? Oh goodness! I think this first time you've been up on my live, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, usually I'm at work and then I'm getting off and I'm driving home. By the time I get home, you're already off.
Yeah.
You barely go off right. I usually get home like around midnight, Mondays and Tuesdays, and then usually you're already off. So and then I'm busy some other days. So I was just doing a live just to get some waste some of that free stuff on my live. So I just got off mine. I was on there for about 6 hours.
Yeah, I think that lasted. What was it on part of it? It was 20 hours, and I think I ran through that in about 3 days.
I hardly ever go over, but I found out one day because I thought I had I was like, oh, I thought it was the new month already, but apparently it doesn't start till after the second. I was on the first of the month, and I was like, I'm gonna start the new hours, and then later on I get an email saying, you went over so much out of on your 20 hours. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. I thought it was already a new month, but I guess not. For them, it's like I guess it starts on the second of every month. So, so I
Hello,
don't know.
Harley.
Learn something new.
Yeah, we gonna be smart old men, aren't we?
Oh
Learning
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And then I'm gonna be kind of like retiring, kind of partial, pretty soon next year. I'll be 62 next year. This year I'll be 61.
You're gonna sort of slow it
Start
down or try to
start
anyway.
start collecting those big bucks that they give us.
Yeah, you go. Well, I tell you what, I don't know how I had time to work after I retired. I stayed so damn busy.
Yeah, you have to stay busy. You got to keep going, or else you know.
Uh, if I lived to be 150, I couldn't do everything I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way it is.
Still too many fast motorcycles out there and fast women out there to slow down.
Well, I'm still married, so
Yeah, but you better not make that statement yet.
yeah,
It might put you in the dog out for sure.
she's still around.
Yeah, that's good. I lost my wife about 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear that, but
yeah,
it happens.
part of life.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but oh, what part of the country you from, man?
In California, Southern Desert.
Oh, okay. You down
I know
there?
you're in Texas, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just about Central Texas, about in the middle.
Yeah, my one of my nephews, my brother's son, he just recently moved over to San Antonio.
All right.
Yeah, he was from California too, but
When, when
he's
I was
he,
a kid,
He's
I
into
live.
guns, so
Oh
he
yeah.
goes, go where they like me.
When I was a kid, and then when I was in the service, I lived right around San Antonio. And then I went to Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, took some training there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Well,
few guns in Texas.
thank you for your service.
Yeah, appreciate it. They
Yeah. I didn't serve. My dad did. He was he got drafted. That was when they were still drafting. That was back in the '60s, and he got drafted for 2 years. He ended up in Germany. No war at the time, so he got lucky.
lucky on that. Hello, Catherine Klein.
Yeah.
And we done got plumb lonesome. We not hadn't had your smart mouth around here, Cat. I'm gonna get hit in a minute.
Yeah. So where's Kenny? I haven't seen. He's not coming today.
Who, Kenny?
Yeah.
He was in the chat. He'd be in
Yeah.
there.
No, I saw him in the chat earlier. Yeah.
He I think he got him a little lady on the side, or he gets to watching them porn channels or something. He gets involved.
I saw that he's going. I guess he's taking a trip. I think.
Yeah, they got a deal that Kenny's the first one to go on it. That they're putting a cruise up for people that have never don't have a chance of doing it.
Yeah.
And Kenny's gonna be the first one to do it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of people going on that cruise with him.
I don't know. The times the way they are right now, I wouldn't want to get stuck on a boat for a long time. You know what happened the last time?
Yeah. Well,
You know, it's like it kind of reminded me of Gilligan's Island. 2-hour cruise and ended up lost
yeah.
on an island.
At one ship they got down there and somebody foreclosed on that ship.
Oh,
And
they did.
They had to fly everybody back home.
Yeah, I mean,
Ones that didn't have passports were in trouble. It was hard for them to get home.
oh yeah. And then on those, you just gotta watch it on those trips, because especially if they have the buffets, people touch stuff and then they put it back and they don't wash their hands, and you end up getting sick. You gotta watch them. Yeah. Better to eat in those restaurants, where they give you the meal.
Oh
Be
yeah.
like, be like the Love
Cat,
Boat.
did you have a good trip? Yeah. Did you have a good trip up for Cat? You missed out, huh? Oh goodness.
Yeah, usually when I drive home, you're always on there, so I put you guys on there, because it takes me about 45 minutes to get home. I get home about midnight California time.
Yeah, and see, it's about usually I get off about 2 o'clock, and
Yeah.
that's Texas time, no Central time.
Yeah, so it's like midnight for me. Yeah.
And once in a while we get wound up. It'll run. I've stayed on it for 4 o'clock where we had 4 hour live.
You get lost. You lose track of time after a while.
Yeah, well, it's really sort of bad because,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if you've heard this story before, but when I set this thing up, it was going to be a 1 hour live, one night a week.
There's no such thing.
No. And when I first started doing it, I thought, how in the hell can anybody stay up there and talk for an hour?
Yeah.
And of course, chat does 99% of the talking in here.
Oh yeah.
And but it damn sure hadn't worked out to one night a week. Worked out to every night a week.
Well, yeah, especially now when there's still a lot of people still at home. They're not going out.
Well, there's nobody really on at this time of the day.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. I mean,
that's
there's some groups. I mean, I know I go through a bunch of groups. Watching other people right now on the TV. You know, but yeah, I dab into all kinds of different groups.
I tell you what, when I first got on here, the RV society was
Yeah,
you didn't but about 10 or 12 of them. There were,
yeah.
Bob Wills and some more of them, and now, my Lord, I bet you just got thousands of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just like and then I mean, I get people from on my lives. I get people from the Philippines, from Indonesia. There's this one guy from Indonesia. He's into Hot Wheels and he races them. You know, and he collects them, and then he has a collection of them. And there's the fishing community, the magnet fishing community, homesteaders. There's all kinds of communities.
Yeah, and a lot of them are really good channels.
Yeah, yeah,
They, I tell you what, so this bunch here got some good folks in it. I got to brag on.
yeah. That's why I love listening to you guys. Kenny cracks me up. You know.
They trying to gang up on me in the damn chat again.
And then Kenny starts giggling, and I can't stop him.
Oh man, get him something else. They, you get him,
Yeah.
and you ever watch Ava and Doug?
Um, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't. I mean, I depending on come on your channel.
Well, they have for here lately. They've been coming in once in a while, but they've got
Yeah.
shooting on their own channel, and you get her laughing and Kenny laughing and Angie. There's 3 or 4 of them. If you get all of them laughing, you might as well just sit back and be quiet.
Yeah. And the thing is that sometimes it's contagious. You start laughing. I remember when I was younger, I was like, I think I was probably like 14, 13, and then we were in a van with my grandmother. She was driving, and it was funny because we started giggling. All of us. There was like about 4 or 5 kids inside the van. And we started giggling and giggling. She's like, "Shut up, shut up!" And we just started giggling even more and more. And then she got so mad that she stopped the van in the middle of the highway and said, "Get off!" And I go, "Okay, all right." I go, "Just make sure you tell my dad where you left me." She's all, "Get back on."
Oh, William, I was on that laptop, and that speaker's on that laptop not very good, so I had a headset on.
Yeah.
They,
Oh, and that one you were in when you were in your camper.
yeah. Well, I just bought that camper. I'm just now rigging it out.
That's good.
Well,
Well, right now every car, all these older cars are cheap because the gas is so high. Nobody wants them. They're turning them in.
there for a while, you couldn't buy a camper.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I notice that everyone I go by is just loaded with RVs.
Oh yeah, they don't. It's like you can't afford the gas. I mean, I drive a little Toyota Corolla, and I go to the gas station twice a week. To keep it full. It's costing me just for work $400 just to drive to work and back.
Yeah.
A
Well,
month.
I bought a small motorcycle, and
Yeah.
I think get 110 miles a gallon. It makes a lot of difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
And, I figured up when I was breaking it in, it was getting about 80, and I figured up the first 1,000 miles on it. I figured what the gas cost, and
yeah.
then what it would have cost in my pickup at 15 miles a gallon.
Oh
And
yeah.
just on that 1,000 miles, it saved $254.
Oh yeah. I mean, how much is the gas over there in Texas right now where you live?
Oh, around 4, just a little over 4.
See, where I'm at, it's 590 already. That's the cheapest one, and that was on when did I put gas? On Sunday. So tomorrow I'll put gas, find out to see if it went up again. But it's been going up like almost every week, 10 cents, 5 cents. Yeah, it's gonna break that. I mean, in some gas stations, this is at Costco, but some gas stations it's already broke $6.
Well, I delivered RVs back. Oh, it's probably been 15 years ago now, and
Yeah.
I saw $6 gas in California and Oregon then.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always been high. I mean, especially if you go to those expensive gas stations, you know, the Shells and the Chevrons. You know, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, it went crazy in the '70s. Remember, and they had those long lines, and then you had to have the
Yeah.
odds and evens. In California, they had that. I don't know if they had it everywhere, but in California, if
Well,
you, if you for gas filling up,
they it was real funny. They wouldn't let them run that pipeline through the Sierras, and just as soon as they got permission to run that pipeline through, you didn't have no more lines. There's plenty of gas then.
well, we still have plenty of gas. We just don't want to use it.
Yeah.
It's like what is going to sit there and rot. I mean, use everybody else's stuff except for our own. uh,
Mm. Good. You have a good night. Hard luck.
yeah. Good night.
Yeah. I just wonder what the gas is going to do the closer we get to that election. I wonder if they'll run it up or down then.
Well, it's going up right now because of the summer. They're planning on getting us if whoever wants to travel. You know, but then there's no cars to buy. You go to the dealerships. I went to go get my oil change today at the Ford dealership. At the Quick Lane, and they have no new cars in the lots. They're all 2022 or older, and they want like too much money for them. I mean, I saw there was a Malibu, 2017. My Toyota Corolla is 2017. They want 25,000 for it, and it has already, I think, like 60,000 miles on it. It's like, geez, they're crazy.
Yep.
They keep sending me letters. We want your car at Toyota. Yeah, well, you can't have it. I'm still paying for
Yeah, you can't try to replace it.
it. Yeah, they want to sell it for more. I mean, they'll probably want to sell it for the same price they sold it to me 5 years ago.
Well, I fool with motorcycles quite a bit.
Yeah,
The motorcycles the same way. They
yeah.
haven't been able to get the new ones in like they want to, so they've started buying every clean used one they can buy.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So the used ones just went through the roof.
yeah. They can't get those chips. They didn't know all of that. Where do you think all these chips come from?
Yeah.
Some foreign country over there that we don't want to deal with.
Well, this should wake some folks up that we need to bring our industry back to the United States.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you saw what happened back then when the gas went crazy. Everybody went to foreign cars, because the all those big cars here where there was no small cars, so everybody was buying Toyotas and Nissans and whatever was available. But now you go to the dealership, they got a Ford Bronco with a 3-cylinder turbo. I'm like, what? I go, that thing's not gonna last. The turbo's not gonna last.
Well, and they they keep getting these cars so damn fancy now that
Yeah.
if they'd just go back and
Well,
build a plane thing, you'd get twice the gas mileage. The
yeah.
second thing, you got on a vehicle, the more stuff is gonna break.
Oh yeah, yeah. My car, my Toyota, I can't even check the transmission oil on it because it doesn't have any stick. So I go, well, how am I going to know if it needs any oil? Oh well, if you see a puddle underneath your car, or if a little light tells you no oil, no oil. Yeah, I go, by that time it's too late.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, and everything's so expensive on it, the service, you know.
well, getting vehicle serviced is not cheap anymore.
No, it isn't. And you can't work on them because everything's all, you got to stick them, you got to put them into a machine to drain the oil and stuff like that.
Ooh. Aaron, yeah, I took that new motorcycle I just bought, and it's a small one. I
Yeah.
took it in and had the oil changed and a 1,000-mile checkup done on it. And it's $350.
Yeah.
And was a motorcycle got a quart of oil in it?
I know. Yeah. It's like a go get an oil change, Well, even though oil's gone up so high, I mean, oil change, even if you do it yourself, you're not going to save very much, It's like
No.
let them do it, Get the tires rotated and everything,
Yeah.
It's part of the deal.
Nope. I didn't get no nap today. I guarantee you that. No.
Yeah.
That Amazon is something else. I noticed where in some small town they're going to using I can't think of the name of it. The drones to deliver all the packages in that town.
Yeah. Well, look at the pizza. I think they did a test over there in Texas of that robotic pizza delivery for Pizza Hut, I think, or Domino's, I think. Yeah, they were delivering the pizza to your house with no driver, just a robot.
I'll tell you what, that's crazy.
They're making us more lazy. They're gonna kill us.
And
you
you
don't
can't
have to leave your house now.
you can't get what you want. I was looking at buying a new pickup here about 6 months ago, and there were two things that just freaked me out. One, they asked me, said, "Well, you got a bank financing this?" Or I said, "I'm not going to finance. I'm going to pay for it." oh, no, wait a minute. We got to, and that damn pickup was going to cost me $3,000 more if I paid cash for it.
They want to get you, with the interest.
Yeah,
The good thing on mine, it was interest free, so I'm in no hurry to pay it off. It's
yeah.
Zero interest.
That salesman told me, said, "You just take it. Said, go ahead and finance it for about 3 months and then pay it off." Said, that way you'll come out ahead,
Yeah.
I thought, God almighty, that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you had cash money in your hand, it made a little difference. You get a little better.
Get a better price, yeah.
And well, it's not like that now.
Yeah.
And you can't buy a standard transmission in a pickup anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's all automatic. I mean, it's special order if you want stick.
You can't even get a special order anymore.
Oh, I know. They're doing away with all the stick shifts. I know.
Yeah.
My son goes, "Oh, I wanted to get a car with stick shift." Now you can't, unless you get one of those sports cars. So they're still doing some sport, like the Mustangs. But then you're talking, over 80,000. And then now they got that new electric, all Mustang. Don't even look like a Mustang.
Yeah.
SUV pretty much, but they call it a Mustang.
So that I was looking at a Dodge pickup, a Chevrolet Silverado, and both of them. I tried to order a transmission standard, and in the Dodge you had to go to a 3-ton, I think, before standard, and in the Chevrolet you couldn't get one.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think the Ford, you had to go to the 3-ton.
yeah. Because even the automatics now they have those shifters that you can you can shift it manually if you want. It's like, where's all the fun? And then the new my son was telling me, he goes, how the new cars, even the stick shift, there's no, how before, it would roll back and all that. It controls all that now. It holds it up there for you. I mean, it basically drives itself. It's like, why even have a stick shift if it doesn't even, it takes away all the fun.
That's
Uh,
a stick shift. Just I always had less trouble with them, and they
yeah,
got
yeah,
better gas mileage, and I could make a truck do what I wanted it to do.
yeah, yeah. Now they got 10 speeds on those transmissions,
Yeah.
automatic 10 speed. One of the guys at work, he just got one of those brand new Mercedes, the electric ones.
Mm.
Hey, there he is. What's up,
Hey,
Ken?
Moon over Miami, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's
Yeah,
Hello,
good.
Kenny.
Hey, Rondell, I heard y'all talking cars over here.
Do what? Do
well,
what?
I heard y'all talking cars and trucks
well,
over here.
why does Kenny
Yeah.
know about cars?
I bet he does just a little bit.
Yeah,
So
well, when you talk about the stick shift, I've heard a lot of people tell me that they'd much rather have a stick shift because a lot less for it to tear up.
yeah,
Because you ain't got much that nothing but a slave cylinder
the synchros and the
and yeah,
clutch. The
eh,
clutch is pretty much the one thing you're gonna wear out more.
yeah. And whereas automatic, you got all them little bitty gears in there, teeth, and
Yeah, it's all the clutch packs.
yeah,
So
yeah.
did you ever get your truck fixed, Kenny?
I still need to change the fuel filter on it.
Oh yeah. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. It's just
No, because
one more
I watched a
inline.
video on how to do it. All they do is take a 1 inch wrench on the nut, hold it still while I take the other wrench to undo the gas line from the nut, and then
Yeah,
just pull it out and then fill in there and and uh, feel for that spring in there and so and then just make sure that make sure I don't cross thread it. Because you said
yeah,
you don't want to cross thread it because
yeah.
it'll,
Use your fingers. Use your fingers first. Once you get it far
yes,
enough, then you tighten it up. Don't over tighten it either.
don't overturn it. And
Yeah,
then after you get done, you gotta crank it up to see if it's gonna leak.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Test it with a light. You just test it with a lighter. No, just kidding.
No, I ain't doing that now. Yeah.
Make sure,
That,
make sure it's not
I
leaking. You.
I put some sea foam down in there though in that gas tank though to let it run through the cycle, and as it's mixing all up, put put some sea foam down in there to get all
And
that
you
gunk,
said
and
you said it was a Chevy, or it was a Chevy, wasn't it?
as a GMC.
Yeah, GMC. Yeah, same animal, different nickname. Yeah, because
We part with them.
I had a Chevy van that used to do the same thing as you're saying. The more gas you gave it, the worse it got, and
Yeah.
it ended up being the fuel line on the tank, the return,
Uh-huh.
the rubber part. So they
Well,
replaced that. It went out, gone. Problem was
he
done.
checked the kid did. I got did the change the fuel pump on it for me. I don't know why he didn't because I even requested for him to go ahead and change that fuel filter too at the same time. Because the
Yeah,
man thought I never did need it, but he said even when he took that old fuel pump off, it still had good pressure.
Yeah.
Even it was still pumping like it's supposed to and had good pressure on it, even when it took it. Because I thought, it hadn't been on it been on there for quite some time, and I thought, well, um, I just go that route and see. And I had him check my fuel lines and to see if it was, and he
Yeah.
checked everything like that, and he said everything looked good there.
Well,
So
because how old is it? What year is
it
it? 70s?
76.
Yeah, and it's probably got the original hoses on there. Those rubber hoses, they'll start sucking air, and what'll happen is when your vehicle gets a certain temperature, like
Uh-huh.
mine, every time it got like a certain temperature, it started sucking air, more air than fuel. So then it started like it would like, and even the mechanic, I told him, look, this is what it does. Certain once it got to a certain temperature, and then it started jerking, and
Uh-huh.
then he was sitting next in the other seat because we were test driving. I go, look, this is the problem it has. And he's looking over to see if I'm playing with the gas pedal. I go, no, the more gas I give it, the worse it gets until it even shuts down. I go,
Yeah.
and he goes, okay, I know what the problem is. He went, checked the gas lines, he put in new gas lines, problem solved. So if you still have that problem, tell him to replace those rubber lines from the gas tank. The ones that are coming from the gas tank going to your fuel pump and your fuel filter.
Because
Those
yeah, the fuel pump. Because he said on that model there ain't much of your fuel system. You got only
yeah,
thing you got is your fuel pump, your fuel lines, and
your filter.
your filter, and that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah, they're the simple. Back in the day, they were so simple. The
Yeah.
points and condenser, and then that
Now
one has
that one's got H that one does have the high energy
the HEI.
the HEI.
So somebody replaced the distributor because that's not original. They didn't have HEI back then. They had points and condenser in the 70s. So somebody had already modified it. They took basically they took out the whole distributor and put another distributor. When you know that this HEI, it has, the spark plug wire that goes on top. It has like a terminal instead of a hole where it goes over it. It has like a crown kind of on all the.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I know it's got the rotary button down inside the distributor too.
Yeah, because if it has points, it'll have like a little window on the side of the distributor. It'll
Uh,
have a little window on there where you lift it up, and that's where you adjust your points. Stick in an Allen wrench, and
yeah.
you open or close your points so that way it'll give it more, make it run better. But
Mm.
yeah, if it has HEI, then somebody yeah changed the distributor. They probably got tired of buying the points, especially if they wanted more power because after a certain amount of RPMs, they start bouncing around.
What the points does?
Yeah, the points. So that's why everybody went to the HEI.
Oh, okay.
What they go to? I thought they went to that ATI in '76 in certain
Uh,
vehicles.
in certain vehicles, yeah. And then they had that little that one
Cause
the
that
control module that they put the little grease on the back of it, and it has two terminals on each side on the Chevys underneath the distributor where the
yeah.
points go. That's that little. But yeah, I believe it. I had a 1970. I know 76s. They might have started going with HEI. I know in 1970, I had a Mercury Marquise and it had the points condenser. But then I had a Chevy van. It was in 19. What year was that one? It was in the 70s, and yeah, that van it had points because I remember changing the points on it.
I bought two brand new one tons in '76. They were '76 model,
Yeah,
and one of them had points in it, and one of them had the
the HEI.
electric. Yeah, and so
Yeah,
I think Rat Pack talking about they started back in '74, but I think they just put that in certain vehicles for several
yeah,
years.
yeah. So they might. I mean, it wasn't that hard because see the problem. The only thing is you just had to change the wires and then the gap of the spark plugs.
Mm, mm,
When you went to the electronic ignition, you had a wider gap on the spark plugs. Instead of them being gapped at 32, then you would gap them a little bit thicker, more open. So because since it had a higher spark, you know, so the distributor. All you did is pull out the old distributor with points and then put in the new one in, and then and they would sell you a kit for the HEI.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing that.
Well, I know that thing can get up and go. You get that thing up
Yeah.
and up to about 75, 80 mile an hour in no time flat. That thing will
Yeah,
roll.
and you still have the carbureted on that one, huh?
It still got the carburetor on it
Yeah,
too.
because I remember when I went to automotive school back in 1979, 80, they were just getting out of carbureted. They were going into fuel injection, and I'm like, man. I mean, and then you learn all this, how to rebuild carburetors and everything,
Yeah,
and then they did away with them. But I loved
and
working on them old cars.
and it's got the 4 barrel on it actually,
Yeah, 4 barrel
and,
double pumper,
and it's
Rochester.
to be honest with you, I don't even know.
Yeah, unless they put a Holly double
No,
pumper
it's
on it.
not. Yeah, not Holly. I don't think. I think it's
Yeah, you can tell because they'll have those two little things on the ends of them. The little square with the screws on them.
but I just know that it had the original copper in it, the copper radiator. But
Yeah.
you can't buy that copper no more.
Oh
So
yeah, they're all plastic now. That's
I had to settle for an aluminum one.
yeah.
And
They don't last. They don't last.
well, in actuality, aluminum radiator is not like an actual like aluminum engine block.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like that. The only thing it usually wears out I was told it wears out on the aluminum radiator is those little plastic cups is all it usually
Yeah.
wears out
Yeah.
on them.
The ends on them
Yeah,
because now all of them they are all metal in the middle and plastic on the sides. It's
yeah,
like everything's plastic.
yeah,
Kenny, I owned a radiator shop.
yeah.
It's no telling how many copper cores I've replaced on them.
Yeah.
When they started coming out with them aluminum radiators, I sold that thing. I sold that business because it was pain in the butt taking them plastic ends off.
Yeah.
You
They're
couldn't.
little throwaways. They're just throwaways. You can't
Yeah.
fix them anymore. Like back in the day where you unsolder them, and then you run all those rods through them to clean them out, stick them in those baths, and then you pressure test them after you solder them. But yeah, I mean, in some foreign countries they still do that kind of stuff. I mean, I've seen them when they rewire alternators and starters.
You can still buy a copper radiator.
Yeah.
A lot of these
But
trucks have got them.
it's
Yeah,
gonna cost.
like racing. Yeah,
It's gonna
but yeah,
cost you a lot of money there, though.
yeah.
You're gonna be paying a fortune for it, I'm sure.
But I tell you what, aluminum won't cool like that copper will.
Oh, I know.
It just not even in the same class.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's when I got out. I owned that business at that radiator shop, and it's a good business. And,
Oh yeah. Back in the day, yep.
when it got off into all you were doing just buying a replacement radiator, well then.
Yeah. Nobody wanted. They were so cheap, cheaper to just get a new one.
Yeah.
And then they got a lifetime warranty on them now. If you buy them at O'Reilly's,
Yeah.
Good night, Cat.
Good night, Cat.
Yeah, the only two places I normally go and buy my parts is O'Reilly's and
AutoZone.
Napa.
Oh, Napa.
No, I've had really bad luck with AutoZone in advance. They gave me a fit and a half, and I'm like, I ain't dealing with this no more. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, I used to work for Kragen Auto Parts for a lot of years.
Kathleen, You be safe on that road now, girl. Have a good time. Hello, Fairy Dust. How you doing, girl?
And
Welcome.
I've learned that some of these people in these parts stores,
Oh yeah, they don't know what they're. You know
you ask them something, and they're
they don't
like,
know
I
nothing.
don't even know what you talking about.
Oh well, they go. It's not in the computer. I go. I know, but I know you have it on the shelf because I used to sell parts. I go, look in the book. Oh, we don't have books. Well, I mean, when I was in the auto parts, we used to look in books. And then when they came out with the computers, everybody, oh, wow, we better throw away these books. We don't need them. I go, no. You keep the books because guess what? The books are going to save you because when you need to look for a part, the computer is only going to have as good as whoever inputs the stuff in it. Oh, if it's not in the computer, we don't have it. I go, no, you have it right there on the shelf. I'll even show it to you. And they would
Well,
get
yeah.
amazed.
Well, what kills me is that y'all probably heard me tell that story about where one time I was ordering a fuel. I was ordering an air filter. I think an air filter and a fuel filter at one time for that truck. And I was talking to a manager of the store, and she goes, "I don't even know what that is." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "And you're a manager of a store?" And I said, "Well, can you look it up?" And she said, "I don't even know how." I'm like, "How in the world? How in the world did you even get the manager job position?"
Because he knows how to run numbers. That's why. That's it.
I mean, this is a female,
Yeah, I
and
mean, even
yeah,
males don't
and
know.
and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've been there too." Uh, and I'm like, "Can you get?" I said, "Okay, can you give me somebody that does know?" I
Yeah,
said, "I said." Because I'm like, really? And and so she finally transferred to somebody that
yeah,
I'm like, thank you. I'm like, you
yeah,
know, and I'm like this. Any job that you do, especially if you're going into auto mechanics, you gotta have some basic common knowledge about that field before even
yeah. I mean, I
and
Yep.
was even I was even ASC certified. Where you go take a test, and you get certified for automotive.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello,
I mean,
Steve. How you doing?
hello, hello, Dan. Hello,
Hey
TC.
T. Yeah, and then a guy at O'Reilly's one time, he I had him come out one day, and I was wanting to help me with checking if it was woods or something in one of the vehicles. And it was actually in that truck actually one day. And he got mad at me one day. He said, "Look," he said, "why am I out here checking this stuff when you don't even buy your stuff even here at O'Reilly?" And I'm like, "Well, at the time that I needed it, y'all didn't have any in stock, so I went somewhere else and got it."
Yeah,
And I said, and and the first thing he does when he gets ready to check the fluid, he tries to open that hot radiator while it's hot. I'm like, no, 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 no. He said, "Why? Is it hot?" And I'm like, duh, it's a radiator. We hadn't even pulled up. We hadn't
do
even
you
done
read?
it.
Do you read what it says on the cap? Do not open. Uh,
And I told, I said, it was all I could do to keep from busting out laughing because I knew the guy. He was old enough to know that that something like that is going to really
Yep.
spray out the water, spray out coolant everywhere. It's going to go everywhere,
Yep.
and yeah, you ain't. And I don't never open that radiator at all. The only thing I check anymore is that coolant reservoir. Make sure it's full, and then
I
I
mean,
just
yeah, you can open it, but only like first thing in the morning when you haven't started it.
yeah.
You can open it up and then look and see
But
how much water's in it. But
usually, I just make sure I keep that reservoir full because I know it just circulates back and forth between, and what don't need in the reservoir, it goes back into the radiator. So
and make sure you replace those. Those go bad too. The radiator caps, they only last maybe about 5 6 years, maybe a little bit more.
yeah,
But then they start losing their pressure. So then you'll start losing. You know, it'll
coolant.
start dumping the water out to your reservoir when it don't need to.
Oh,
Yeah,
So,
'cause,
somebody else
before,
don't
back in the
realize
day, well, Ron should know. He used to have those testers. You test the radiator caps, and you pressure test the radiator. He also had
yeah,
one for the radiator caps. Those you want to replace also.
what people don't realize about a radiator cap is that, water boils at 212. For every pound of pressure you put on that radiator, it can run 7 degrees hotter before it boils. So that's the reason these 25 and 30 pound caps they run at 250.
Yeah.
And second you losing that cap, that water boiling
Yep.
because you lost the pressure on it.
well, you're
Yeah.
gonna
So
hear it boil too, aren't you?
yeah, you'll start hearing it like pumping it out into your reservoir. You know, especially when you turn it off. Once you turn it off, if you start hearing a lot of, because it shouldn't be bleeding back out unless it's overheating. So if it's pumping water back into your reservoir too much, then your cap is probably weak. You need to replace it,
Yeah.
and they're not that much, anyways.
No.
Yeah, and I tell you what, every business has got its little quirk.
Yeah,
And I remember one time I was off on a deer lease, and all of a sudden my pickup started getting hot, and I checked it, and it had antifreeze in it and everything. I said, "Well, I know what's wrong with it." No boy was with me, so what you gonna do? I said, "Well, I'm fixing to jury rig it, but it'll get us home." I pulled that top radiator hose off, took a screwdriver, and stuck down in there, and took a hammer and drove a hole through that thermostat because that's what had happened. It locked up.
yeah, they lock up. Yeah, that's another thing that goes bad.
Put the hose on back
Thermostat.
on, drove it home.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
but
the
don't.
thermostat is supposed to open and close.
Yeah, at a certain temperature, so that way it'll. And then don't do what some people think. Oh, take that thermostat out, so it'll work better. No, it doesn't. It's got to keep the enough time for it to cool down in the radiator and then pump it back in. It opens and closes. You take it out, it's gonna always in and out, and never gonna cool down that much.
well,
But they think,
most people don't realize that you got different degrees on thermostats.
yeah,
You
You got
some 140s and 160s and 180s.
180,
yep,
195.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
And like new cars, they have computers now. So if you
yeah.
put the wrong thermostat in there,
yeah.
it's never gonna run good because it's waiting for it to reach that certain temperature. And
And it's and that computer is programmed to that one certain
yep,
thermostat.
yeah. That's what
Very,
people don't understand.
very
Yeah.
dusty. You headed home, or you still running around up there seeing kinfolk?
You've got to, and two, I learned too that some of these new cars now, they not only have a fuel pump in the tank, they got one up here at the motor too.
And a lift pump.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got a
Yeah,
They
you got
got
to take down the whole fuel tank in order to replace those things. It's a
unless
bear.
you unless you get like so I've heard people where they've cut like a little hole in the back and put a door back there to where
Yeah, or you know what I know there's one mechanic. Either you drop the tank or you take the bed off the truck. He decided to take the bed off the truck. It was
I've
at a Dodge dealer.
I've cut many a hole in a truck bed. Just got air chills on rip, cut a square hole out in it,
Yeah.
go in there and fix that pump, and then put that back in there and weld it back in.
Oh, there's this one. I forget what van it was. I think it was one of the like the Aerostars, the Fords. You had to take off in order to do the spark plugs on it. You had to take the tire off because there was a hole through the wheel well where you can get to the spark plug. If not, you wouldn't never be able to take the spark plug out. You had to
They
take the wheel off just to change the spark plugs.
they had a Mustang, that fastback I think it was, that you had to pull the motor. You had to take and loosen all the motor mounts and jack the motor up to put that back plug in.
Yeah, yeah.
Put that plug.
Or you got to be a contortionist to take them off.
Got a what?
A contortionist.
Right.
You know those.
That wouldn't work on this thing. You couldn't. The plug was too long.
Yeah.
It didn't come out.
I had
Back in my hot rod days.
Yeah, I had that Chevy van that I was talking about that I had. It was one of those with the scoops in the inside. So you would take the scoop off so you can work on the spark plugs. But then those other ones were like way in between, and then they had all the smog device things. There was no way to get to it. And my uncle, he was like, "Oh, that's easy." I'll go, "Okay, go ahead." That was the last time he ever offered to change the spark plugs. He was like scratching his head, going underneath, going above. It's like, I don't know. He goes, "Well, now you know." I go, "Yeah, the first four are easy. The last two, they're in between the chassis, right there where that little thing is for that cover that goes on. You can't get to them."
You remember when they come out with aluminum blocks and the damn aluminum heads, and you'd be driving along and all of a sudden they blow a spark plug out.
Yeah.
That one hell of a racket if you run at about 70 miles an hour and blow a spark. Good God Almighty.
Yeah. And I don't like. I'd much rather have cast iron than I would aluminum. Because
and then they warp when they heat up, and that's
yeah,
it. Replace the whole head.
Aluminum, you're either going to crack a head or you're going to crack the block one or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it ain't going to take that heat.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I tell people, I said, if you're having trouble and you're running aluminum, I said, you better shut that thing off right as soon as it gets hot.
But then by the time it tells you that little idiot light, then it's too late. Unless you have gauges, that little idiot light, by the time it comes on and flashes, hey, too hot. It's like too late.
They didn't have to work on them, rat fact. They could design them, but they didn't have to work on them.
Yeah.
At least cast iron would take in more heat than that aluminum, because you got a little bit more time to pull over on the side of the road.
Yeah. When I worked at Firestone, they had they charged extra $30 to do one of those V6 transverse engines because the engine was sideways, and it had about this gap. You could barely get your hands in there to get to the spark plugs, and that's why we charged the extra $30. And then the guy is all, "Wow, over there they don't charge that." I go, "Well, they don't change them. That's why. They tell you they do." I go, "Watch. We'll give you the old spark plugs, and we'll show you what they had in there. They're all different. The 3 spark plugs on that side were all different kinds because somebody replaced one, somebody gave up on the second one, and the last one was original. They never touched it." I go, "Now you know why they charge. That's why we charge $30 because we replace them."
Good night, fairy dust.
I was talking to a guy the other day, and he had stripped the threads out in a piece of aluminum. I, told,
Oh,
I said, man, go get you a heliocoil and put in it. He said, what the hell is a heliocoil? He didn't know what I was talking about. I explained to
yeah,
him, here's the deal, you thread it in there and there's a little spring looking thing you screw down in there and replace the thread.
yep.
But some of these new guys, they haven't
Oh
seen it
yeah, they don't
trick.
even know. We used to always joke around, have people look up. We go, yeah, we need a radiator cap for a VW Bug 1960 something. And we're like, I don't know. I think it might be special order. Really? Okay. Yeah, and I need some muffler bearings too. Uh, and then we got one guy. We told him, hey, I need some piston rings for a Mazda RX-7 with the rotary engine. He's all like, I don't know. It doesn't show. It does nothing. It doesn't show nothing. I think they're special order. Yeah, they don't exist.
I tell you what, I saw somebody get in trouble over that deal one time. When I was in the army, they we had a sergeant that was always jacking with everybody,
Yeah,
and he told this guy that he wanted him to go to town and get a skyhook and bring it back out there. Well, what he didn't know is this guy worked up north and he worked for a crane company called a Skyhook. And that guy out there, he knew what was going on, you know. He
yeah.
took and went and checked out like he was supposed to, you know, and had his orders cut and everything. And he went home, stayed home about 3 or 4 days, and then he had a requisition there. He picked one of them damn skyhooks up and drove it back to San Antonio. It was like a $250,000 machine. Oh my lord, you talk about some head rolling now.
He asked for it.
Yeah, he got this skyhook.
Uh,
It just you don't never know. Striped paint,
yeah.
everything else. So I guess people have been sent for everything.
Oh yeah. And
Living
there
in
was,
it, you range.
But I've got my mechanic. He's scheduled to work on the van for me on the 28th of this month. He's going to change that power steering gearbox and the return hose and the pressure hose.
yeah.
And
You got a leak on them.
I'm gonna go ahead and I went ahead and let him go ahead and change the oil and
Oh yeah.
change the oil and service the transmission in it as well.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, I I I'm a I like to change the transmission to at least I change mine at least once a year at least.
So
Um,
they just would, but they don't flush it. They just drop the pan and put a new filter in it.
drop the pan, put a new filter, put new fluid in there in the pan, clean that old gasket off the pan, uh, put a new gasket on, new gasket, new filter, and then just refill it back up with automatic. Because my mechanic was telling me said normally you don't normally change that the torque converter fluid because
Yeah, yeah. You got about 10 quarts in there.
it holds about 10 quarts itself.
Yeah.
About 10 to 12 actually is what I was told. And and, and normally you just unless you start having issues with it, I mean, you
Yeah,
know.
you'll find out as soon as he drops the pan. He'll check the bottom. The pans usually have a magnet on it, so
Yeah,
any metal pieces
yeah,
land on the bottom and it gets stuck to that magnet. And
yeah.
then, but then the material. If you get a lot of material, then that's not good because then that means your clutches are falling apart. Is it automatic or standard?
Everything that we have is automatic
Automatic, yeah. So
because my dad is only got one leg,
Ah, okay. Yeah.
and so it has
It's
to
easier to
drive.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so and
Yeah.
it's automatic. It's an automatic with overdrive. It's
Yeah.
so automatically when we put it in drive, it's already in. It's already in overdrive because that that circle with the D on it.
Yeah.
It's
They got the
already
little
there.
button. Then they got the little button. Some back then, they only had the.
This one don't have the button. It's already.
Yeah, it's already there. It's either drive or the D with a zero on it, with a little circle on it.
It's
Yeah.
because when we put it in actual drive, it actually is that it actually goes in the it actually goes in the it's in the and it's in that setting where it's already set
Yeah.
because it goes in the drive with the circle on it.
Yeah.
That means it's overdrive. So.
The
And
overdrive.
so you can hear that. You can hear that. Oh, you can hear that overdrive kick in as well when it gets up to a high rate of speed.
Yeah. Yeah. The RPMs will be up higher.
Yeah, you'll hear it. It's going whoa.
Yeah.
and but yeah, I uh, I know my cousin. He used to work on cars all the time. As a matter of fact, he learned to work on cars by rebuilding his first motor when he was about 9, 10 years old.
Well, that's good.
He took an old motor from an old junkyard. His daddy was one of these guys that told him that he'd never mount a hill of beans, never do nothing. He proved his daddy wrong,
Hey.
and he went and got an old. I kid you not, he went and got an old motor that did not work at all. He rebuilt that thing up from scratch up, and he got to running afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's how he learned how to. That's how he learned how to. He actually taught me too. You can set a motor on the ground, and you can run it. You can run it backwards too. You can run it the way it's supposed to
Yeah.
run. You run it the opposite direction, but you won't want to run it the opposite direction for long.
No. Yeah.
That
Yeah. That was when you can work on cars. Now you can't even check the oil on now the new cars.
no, the other new cars now they don't even have the dipsticks in them.
Yeah. My Toyota. I'm like, well, what if it needs oil? Well, it doesn't need it if it doesn't turn on the light or if you see oil on the bottom of the floor. I'm like, oh, that's great.
See, I'm one of these that I don't just assume or trust those lights. I'm one of these that will automatically. I like to check mine at least once a week before.
Yeah, but you can't check them. You got to hook them up to a machine in order to find out if they need any oil.
Yeah,
It's like crazy. Yeah, it's like this guy at work. He just bought one of those brand new Mercedes electric ones. They go for about 139,000. The price. That thing drives itself, pretty much. He said. It's just you push a button and it even changes lanes on cars and stuff. I'm
I
like,
wouldn't trust that
no.
malfunction myself
I know. It's like, yeah.
because if something goes wrong,
Yep.
if something malfunctions or something, you ain't got no control of it. Looks like you'd be dead in no time.
I mean, you can take control at any time, but I mean, still, I mean, like now you can park a car, you just push a button and it just parks itself. It's like, wow. Why even drive? Have somebody else drive
Well,
you.
I wouldn't want to pay the price that you'd have to pay to repair it.
Oh, I know. Just the service alone. I went to service my Toyota. They did the transmission service and the radiator service, and it was about over $500. Yeah, that was just basically replacing fluids, old fluids with new fluids. You know, I'm like, geez,
Good night, Bree.
yeah, it's crazy now what they charge.
Good night, Lillian. Good night, Bree.
Good night, Lillian. Good night, Bree.
Good night, good night.
No, I want something better than Taco Bell, Bree.
You don't like Taco Bell, Rondell?
He
It's
wants
all right if you
he
get,
wants Del Taco.
yeah. When I've got a couple Mexican restaurants here within 4 or 5 miles of me, and they know what a taco is supposed to taste like.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, I'm like you, Diane. I can cook and I can make it taste all right, but I don't like to. I do it to stay alive.
You don't like cooking?
No. And I can. I mean, I'm a pretty good cook, but I don't like, especially for one person. It's just a pain in the butt.
Time to get those TV dinners, huh?
Yeah, I don't. I'll do something. Do something before I eat. I haven't made one of them things in years.
You
Yeah,
haven't had a TV dinner in years?
No, it's been. I bet it's been 20 years since I had a TV dinner.
yeah, it's been about that long for me too. I used to get those pouches. Remember those pouches you put in the hot boiling water
Yeah,
that had the meat with the gravy, or that Salisbury steak. Those were not that bad, And you make yourself some white rice and put that meat over it. It was pretty
Yeah.
good.
well, that and then the chicken pot pies and turkey pot pies were pretty.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good. Now they got them for the microwave. That's the good thing, and they came out pretty good in the microwave. Some of those brands.
Yeah, I like the hard shell tacos.
The 39 cent each.
No, I don't have a Costco's around me, William. They're not in this part of the country.
You probably got the Sam's Club.
Got Sam's Club, Walmart.
Yeah, basically it's the Walmart of Costco.
Yeah. Well, HEB here in Texas is starting to give them a run for their money a little bit. They're a hell of a good grocery store, but they've got where they got the gas stations out front, and
Yeah,
they're stocking stuff like Walmart did.
yeah. You got any Aldi's out there in Texas?
Any what?
Aldi, they're that German company. It's
No.
it's it's kind of like it's almost almost like a Smart and Final, where they don't even stock everything, just they wheel it out there. It's kind of like a big box store almost, but it still has a lot of good stuff in it. And the prices are not that bad.
They've got a couple stores like that out
Yeah,
here where they don't stock anything. It's just all in boxes. They don't even unbox it till they sell it.
yeah.
Uh, oh, I can fix good steaks and good pork chops and that kind of stuff. But
Y'all
they
making me hungry talking food.
I know.
get a good old steak with some baked potato.
That'll make your tongue slap your brain.
Yeah, I tell you one thing I do like to cook, and that's about the only thing is
Ah,
I can make some ribs that'll just you talk about slapping your brain now, brother.
Pork or beef?
Either one of them.
Yeah.
I can do.
I usually make some pork ribs. They got more meat in them. I like, because they trim them too much. The beef ones, they
Yeah.
don't leave any meat on them. It's like you just bite one bite and it's all bone.
I've got a place here I can buy some ribs
Hello,
that
Carl.
cut right.
And the girls and the family.
Yeah.
So, but now I can make some ribs that you got to be careful turning them over because the bone. You
Yeah,
can't
the bone will fall off of them. Yeah.
bone
I,
just pull out of them.
yeah. I do mine in the oven also. Cover them up. 350 degrees for about 2.5 hours, and then uncover them, and then if put some barbecue sauce on them, or any kind of anything you want, or dry rub, and finish them off uncovered, melt in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. They rat pack. What's funny about that, about the smoker, there's no
Hmm.
telling how many of them big barbecue, portable barbecue pits I built. I built some of the fastest ones you ever saw. Warmers
Yeah.
on them, water, and there was a catering company that I got with, and we built about 50 of them pits. And I never built one for myself. That was what was funny.
Yeah.
I got a ex brother-in-law right back that goes to these barbecue cook-offs all the time, and he got enough trophies to fill a house up. And that's the way they do their ribs when they're in one of them competitions. They'll put them in a pressure cooker
Yeah.
and cook them, and then all they do is when they take them out is add the sauce to it and put the
And
crust
then
on
put them on
top.
the grill for a couple of minutes. Yeah. A lot of them, they just boil them first, and then grill them afterwards.
Yeah. Well, that pressure cooker really does a job on them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Quick. My mom used to use a pressure cooker when she used to make beef tongue, and it'd come out tender.
Takes a business license. I never had heard that. Most of these cook-off teams down here are just a bunch of old country boys that like to drink beer and like to barbecue. Uh, I tell you what, I'd hate to have to throw the meat on the grill now. A buddy of mine brought a biscuit, bought a brisket the other day, and it was like $130 for that brisket. It just, ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Oh, Moon, do you have those spiders as pets or something?
Yeah, I do have a jumping spider. Yeah, I have. It's in this.
Hmm. How
You
big?
can watch the videos of it. I
How
got a
big
bunch of
does that
videos.
thing get?
They're not that big. They're like if you see my fingernail, it's about the size of the fingernail, and that's as big as it gets. And they don't live
It's,
very long. They live maybe, if you're lucky, 2 years.
uh,
Yeah, I had another one that was much smaller, and that one died after 4 months. But it who knows how long it was. I found it. It was already full grown. This one was already full grown too. But yeah, they last maybe 2 years at the most or less.
is that something that you've always liked to collect, or
I mean, I was always interested in bugs and stuff like that, but I've never had, the only pets I ever had was maybe hamsters, turtles, fish, But yeah, this is barely the now, I got more interested into spiders and stuff.
I
So
got my son is about, he's right at 6 foot, weighs about 270. He's just a big guy, and he'll sit there and catch a rattlesnake. It don't
yeah,
bother him a bit. But you can take a damn spider and run him plumb out of the damn country. It's funny as hell. See that little
yeah,
bitty bug and just, uh,
like an elephant with a mouse.
so does
Yeah.
Does
I
it
think-
bite you?
Huh?
Huh?
Is
No,
that
he,
spider?
he
Is
just scared of the damn spiders. They just freak him out.
uh,
I mean, a spider will usually run away from you or hide. The only reason you get bit is because either it's stuck in the clothes and you crush it, and it'll bite you for its last resort, or it's in the shoe and you stick your toe in there and smash it, and it bites you. Usually, spiders they don't bother you. You know.
Well, down here in South Texas, well, when I was a kid growing up around San Antonio, they got the tarantulas down there.
Yeah, we have them over here too.
They get big. We played with them things when we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, mess with them, and man, them damn things can jump 5 or 6 feet.
Oh yeah, there's some that are pretty fast
They
and jump.
stand up on their back feet, boy, and flare out.
Yeah, they'll go like this and they'll hit the ground with their front legs and tell you to stand back and show their fangs. But they usually won't want to bite you unless they have to. And
Yeah,
if you get them into a corner, then that's
yeah,
that's
that's the
usually
most bad one, the rat pack. But we've got down here the black widows and the brown recluse, and more people have trouble with the brown recluse than anything anymore.
yeah,
Because you won't. A lot of times you don't even know you're getting bit.
yeah, yeah. That's why you're supposed to anytime you got any clothes, you should shake it out, you know, and in case there's a spider or something in it, your shoes, same thing, and you won't get bit, or well, if it gets in your bed, then that's another thing too. Just like scorpions, they'll get on your bed and they don't climb that well either.
Well,
So
we don't up in Central Texas. We don't have many scorpions.
no,
Down in South Texas,
too cold.
buddy, they're no, it's not that cold. We just don't have them.
Or well, sometimes the thing is because they usually stay hidden. You can't really see them at nighttime either, unless you have one of those black lights and then they glow.
Yeah.
You'll find them. Then you go like, oh shoot, there's that many.
But down there, and I man, don't telling how many times I've got to talk about scorpion down there in South Texas.
Yeah. And then everybody's all, are they poisonous? No, venomous. Poison, you consume it, you drink it. Venomous, it's by a bite. You know.
I
And
tell
it's
you
like,
what, if somebody bites me and makes me sick, he's poor. Oh Lord.
I mean, they pretty much if you're like if you get if you're allergic to bee stings, then you got to worry about those spider bites because then they can kill you too. But if you're not, you know, I've been bitten a couple of times by a bee and no problem, even like in the neck, you know. But yeah.
We ain't gonna start telling bee stories.
Somebody got
Especially
stung.
those in your britches.
Oh, Kenny's gonna start laughing now.
Yeah. It got to be a joke around here for a while, didn't it, Kenny?
I tell you, what happened is that, and between that and that doohickey, and seeing Ron trying to keep from laughing when he broke those ribs. That was
Oh, I can imagine. As they say, it only hurts when I laugh.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell that story again one of these days.
yeah, I did. I said doohickey. I never forget Angie Hay was up here on the panel and she cracked up at that.
I tell you the one that tickled me the most on that deal, Kenny, was Michael Ann. Because Michael Ann usually pretty straight faced, and she got to laughing and she couldn't stop.
And her face was
Oh,
red.
here we go with the tweezers again.
But anyway, yeah. And I tell you, somebody else that got going was Ernie.
Oh yeah, that one night he did. Talking about that alligator. I thought he gonna choke to death that night. Well, we're gonna have fun in here one of these nights because Nate and Paula are gonna let me interview them in here one night, and I think Nate's a little nervous, and I don't know why they'd be nervous letting me interview him.
Hey, so the reason why I was asking is, do you let that spider out and play with it or something?
Oh no, not that one. I mean,
No.
it's pretty fast. It jumps. You know, they're that's why they're called jumping spiders.
Ah,
They usually and they hunt the prey, and when they jump they have like a bungee cord. They have like a spider web hanging onto something, so then they in case they fall and miss, they can just climb back up. But
ah,
and there's some a bunch of different colored ones. There's this one that's called a peacock. It looks like a peacock, and it moves, and it they're very attentive. They'll look at you, and they'll like I think that it's kind of like if they're waving at you. They're cute.
hmm.
But yeah,
um, I went to school. Hey, Lacey.
hello.
I went to school with a girl one time that said, I don't know how true this is, but she said she had a tarantula for a pet.
Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of people, and on YouTube that I watch and stuff that they have tarantulas. In fact, there's tarantulas out where I work at, and I've fed it, some worms, and fed it some bugs. I have videos of it. The tarantulas crawling around. They see you and then they go back in their little hole, hide in the ground. You know, they're pretty big. They're about the size of my hand. You know, they
Yeah.
but they walk slow.
Well, when we were kids, we'd play with them, catch them, put them on your arm, let them crawl around, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's these ones that are called bird eaters, bird eater tarantulas.
Mm.
They're the biggest tarantula there is. They're usually from like leg to leg. They're about like 10 to 12 inches long. You
That
know,
Mm.
down in Janice's country, that's down in Australia.
yeah. But yeah, people have them as pets everywhere. They have. I know a lot of people that have over 200 tarantulas in their hobby. You know, so they keep them as pets. There's all kinds of colored tarantulas. I mean, people think, oh, you think of a tarantula, and what do you think? Black, brown. There's some like aqua blue, aqua green. There's some that are called pumpkin patch. They look like a pumpkin. There's some the tiger ones. There's some that have like a little heart on their butt. They have like a shape of a heart on them. There's all kinds of different ones.
Mm.
Different different colors. There's also there's some small ones that are they call them I forget what they call them, but they only get like maybe at as big as they get is maybe like 3 inches long, 3 inches from leg to leg. so they're not that big. But they're interesting.
Yeah, it's
Well, Kenny, you ought to enjoy something I'm fixing to do.
what's that?
I'm fixing to go back as far back as I can remember. And I can remember back some things that happened when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'm going to start way back there and start telling the stories that I remember about crap that I did or happened to me or something like that. And it's going to be a whole damn series of that. Now, that ought to be interesting.
Oh, okay.
Kenny, back then when we had those rotary phones, that were connected to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
And then you had to run the number all the way, and then if you messed up, you had to start all over again. There wasn't like now you're like, oh, just delete that number. You messed up, you got to start all over from the first number.
Yeah.
And then they had the party lines.
Yeah, Rat Pack. I know where there's caves at on some rivers I fish that you can walk in one of them things and a whole wall will go to shaking from them daddy long legs. It just be millions of them in there.
Oh, Kenny, have you ever seen the wolf spiders?
I'm not sure if I have or not.
They're pretty big for a spider, but the only thing on those, you got to watch it because sometimes if they're a female, they'll carry all their babies on their back. So when people go over there to kill the mother, then all of a sudden now you got thousands of spiders going all over the place. Hundreds. They were all on top of the mom. You could have just picked up the mom and took it outside. But now you try to kill the mom and all the babies are all over the house.
Hey, Crystal.
Hello. What you doing, darling? Critters are. There's not many things that freak me out. It's like snakes don't bother me as long as I can see them. I hate stepping on one or grabbing one,
Yeah.
But spiders don't really bother me.
Yeah. The ones that are kind of scary is the camel spiders. They don't have a stinger and they don't have fangs. They do have a mouth, kind of like it looks kind of like the Predator, the guy from the movie The Predator. You know how it eats. That's kind of, and then it has pinchers, so it grabs the food and then feeds it to itself. But they run pretty fast. Those. But the movies they try to scare you.
Everybody had a life jacket. If you get to thinking about the earliest things that you remember, that's sort of funny. Some people don't remember anything, and some people remember a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was 3 years old, and I don't know if you remember back in the day, they had those like droppers for the medicine glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time I bit one of those, so I had glass. I ended up, swallowing some of the glass, and then they're like, "Oh, give him a peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter sandwich." So so the glass will get in their stomach. Back in the day, people would always have these remedies. Yeah, don't take the kid to the hospital. Just give him peanut butter. So it'll stick. So all the glass will stick, and then he won't get cut in the stomach.
I tell you what, it's worse than that, Moon. I was in a swing one day, and do you remember the pins that they used to put in shirt collars that had a ball on the end of them?
Yeah. When for the cuffs.
Yeah, it just. But I mean, these were regular straight pins. When they shipped the shirts, they had the collars and stuff.
Yeah, over here, yeah, they have those too for the.
Well, I was out in the backyard and we had a swing out there. And I had one of them things in my mouth, like a toothpick.
Oh,
I was swinging in that swing and I got it going. I'd get it going just high as I could and then jump out of it. And so I got that thing swinging back and forth and I jumped out and I went, and I sucked that damn pin down in my lung.
oh,
And they messed around and one of the biggest hospitals here in Texas has got an instrument in that was a flexible deal like you pick stuff up with, got a pair of pinchers on the end.
yeah, like the automotive ones.
Yeah.
Automotive.
But they had a row of mirrors around it where they could shine a light and they could see down it. It didn't have a TV cameras and stuff.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
And they went in there and I was about 4, maybe 5. They went in there and got that lung, picked that pin up out of my lung, pulled it out. But that's the reason my voice is so deep. Stage 4,
Yeah, you got
throat,
lucky.
all through hell
Yeah.
with the mirrors and stuff, I remember waking up in that hospital and they had a damn metal pipe taped to the side of that bed that was a vaporizer. And that pipe was hotter than hell. You'd turn over and just burn the crap out of you, And it's funny you remember all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had a deep voice ever since I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah. Kind of like alfalfa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we lived in a good time coming up. I did. Man, my grandfather had a ranch, and I'd get a damn BB gun and a salt shaker and eat breakfast and leave, and I wouldn't come in till after dark.
Yeah.
Run around out there, rattlesnakes and cactus and everything in the world,
Yeah, not like now, I mean, back then it was, easier. There was always. It's like they say, oh, there was no kids getting lost. Yeah, there was kids disappearing. You just didn't hear about it.
That's right.
That's how it is now. I mean, you only saw it on the milk cartons. It's like, hey, isn't that me on the milk carton? Like, hey, you mean I'm not from this family?
You'll appreciate this, Rat Pack. I had a couple of uncles. My grandfather owned a welding shop, and I had a couple of uncles that worked in there, but they were just like 4 or 5 years older than me. And I had one of them old pump BB guns that just you pumped it one time,
Yeah.
And they took that thing apart and took that spring out of it and put a valve spring out of a car in it. And the only way I could cock it was get a hold of that thing, set it on the ground, get a hold of it, and catch it and jump. And I could reach it. But that damn thing shot like a 22.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't no telling how many rattlesnakes I've killed with that thing. Shoot them right behind the head, boy, and they just drop them.
Yeah.
But if I had that salt shaker with me, I could find enough wild plums and pecans and top off prickly pear or something. I get enough to eat where I could stay out there all day,
Yeah.
But all that really came in handy when I went to Vietnam.
Yeah.
But these kids now, you take one of these kids now and dump him out in the middle of a ranch like that, he's starved to death.
Yeah. They'll start crying.
Yeah.
I need my phone. How do I get to the store? I don't know. I need a phone. It's like, well, you don't know what a map is? It's like you read the signs.
I got used to using Google Maps. That's all I ever use. I don't even know how to even use a regular map anymore.
Yeah, but what happens when technology doesn't work? You know, it's like kids. They're at the store and they're like, how do you give it a change? Just count it out. Use your human calculator. You know?
That's what I have issues with that. So
Yeah.
Rat Pack, I had a sister that was 2 years younger than me, and I was like you. I sort of took care of her, and she told me one time, said, "You were worse than mom and dad." Because she'd start to go out with somebody, and I said, "No, you ain't going out with him." And she told me one time, said, "Well, I will if I want to," and I said, "No, you won't, because me and him will have a little bit of talk this afternoon, and he won't be over here." She said, "You are a hell of a lot worse than my parents were." Well, I
Yeah.
knew them. I knew which ones were the outlaws and which ones weren't. But now, I had a couple uncles that were a little older than me, tried to kill me a dozen times. Mm.
I mean, back in the day, yeah, I remember back now you don't do it, but I mean, I remember back then they used to get the babies and throw them up in the air. It's like Jesus, we never knew that was bad for them.
it's
You
hard to
spin
believe.
them down, and you know, then you
It's
find out. Yeah, go ahead, Kenny.
it's hard to believe that you've been on for about 2 hours already.
Well, because we're having so much fun, Kenny.
Um, I'm about to fall asleep, people. I actually fell asleep during Ron's live last. I actually fell asleep somewhere between Johnny's Journey and um, nautical nurse Nancy uh, cruising channel. So yeah, I fell asleep. And I slept all night long. And I took a nap.
Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be about time to shut this one down tonight. We've been on here 2 hours again.
Yeah.
Kenny, I did that one time. I was on somebody's live, but I wasn't on the screen. I was in the chat, and I was a mod, and I was falling asleep, and I had my hand on the phone, and I was timing people out. Later on, they said, "Hey, why are you timing people out? They didn't do anything." And I go, "I didn't do that." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I fell asleep while I was with the phone in my hand, and then I was timing people out, hitting the phone." I was like, "Okay."
If I fall asleep, just remember no snoring.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
just we'll just make a video of it, Kenny.
I
oh,
actually did. I actually did over a 15. Troy even remembers this, I'm sure, from No Matter Crap Pack. I did over like a 15 and a half hour live. I actually fell asleep on the live stream. It was on my own live stream.
I know how to wake Kenny up, though.
Yeah.
You can just mention boobs or
You
Kenny, and he's wide awake.
just
He
tell him
got,
motorboating.
oh, look at that grin.
Yeah, 15 is actually a 15 and a half hour live, but I only got credited for 12 because
Yeah, because they shut you down after 12. You
YouTube
still
just,
keep going, but it's only in the back.
yeah.
Yeah. You see how slick he changed the subject there?
Yeah.
Kenny getting good at that.
Uh,
He's getting ready for his boat trip.
Rubbing your head ain't gonna help, Kenny.
Oh, Lord.
So where are you going on your boat trip, Kenny?
Going to Bon Air, Aruba, La Ramona, and Amber Cove.
Watch out for the cannibals.
Leaving out of Miami.
All right, folks, we done hit that 2 hours. It's about time to shut this thing down. I've
All
been
right.
tonight.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's still 18 people in here.
Well, they all came to see Kenny, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
The star of the show.
No.
They're like,
Yeah.
where's Kenny at? Where's Kenny at?
Yeah, he brings all the women in here.
Yeah.
No. No. There down, please.
Good night, Diane and Janice.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Till next time, as they say.
Yeah, appreciate you coming up, man. Enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
no problem, man. You take it easy, everybody.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.